What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Goods XY. You already know the vibes, man. We back in the building, man. Listen, if you have not subscribed to the channel, I don't know what you doing. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, man. You already know what it is. I just wanted to come talk to y'all real quick because I realized when I dropped my video right after Kendrick Lamar's performance, I hadn't really gotten a chance to really take in everything that I saw. Now, if you know, I was on a live stream and my live stream got cut short.
Oh my God.
And everything just went by so fast. So I had to watch this a couple times. And I noticed so many different things in this performance. And what I did is I basically just drowned out all the BS because I know there's a lot of static out there. There's a lot of people trying to downplay his performance. There's a lot of people trying to downplay the entire halftime show.
All right, y'all, I'm sorry. Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl was whack. That was one of the worst halftime shows in recent memory. First of all, Kendrick Lamar is not mainstream. Like, people do not know those songs. The white people at the Super Bowl party that I was with, he may as well have been speaking Mandarin.
Boy, if you don't...
This was expected. I expected people to do this. I mean, they did the same thing when GNX came out. You know, I feel like people just wait for the opportunity to criticize from somebody like Kendrick because it's not very often that Kendrick pops out. So when he does, they're always going to take the opportunity to criticize. I just wanted to go through some of the things that people might have missed in this performance. But I want to start with Willie D. Willie D said, people who thought Kendrick Lamar's halftime show was boring probably used their brain half the time, if that. The man was out there delivering a whole socio-political sermon speaking on revolution, oppression, and the state of the world. And they were sitting there like, where the fireworks at? Yo, now listen, I completely understand this. And I love the where the fireworks at, because that literally sums it all. You know, a lot of people wanted to see the fireworks. That's what you're used to. Now, Willie D continued and said, the man gave you game within game. Notwithstanding, music and performances are subjective. Everyone's got a right to their opinion, but let's keep it a buck. If your issue with Kendrick's halftime show wasn't about the performance itself, but something deeper, don't be a coward and hide behind preferences to mask your implicit bias and hate. Listen, man, shout out to Willie D, man. He's saying everything that I'm feeling. Like, I be feeling this too. And I posted something on Twitter today because I seen a lot of people just, I seen a lot of people replying to people that was talking shit about the performances. And for me, I was just looking at it and I'm like, why? So I posted this. I said, imagine a Drake fan who's been fighting and losing all year, running to social media to post, that was an amazing performance by Kendrick Lamar. This is why I don't bother replying to them. Forward culture. And basically what I meant by that is we've watched these people spin narratives. We've watched these people lie, carry out lies, make excuses, defend a guy that they do not know. We've watched these people do this all year long. What in your right mind makes you think that they would suddenly be able to be unbiased and admit when something was good? I just had to go ahead and post that. But going back to Willie D, he continues on and says, just say you weren't feeling the message because you don't rock with him. Or better yet, say it made you uncomfortable. Yo, come on, man. Talk to him. I feel like a lot of people are uncomfortable. We're gonna get to that. When certain artists from certain background and certain skin tone perform, that's the only time when certain people have something slick to say. Again, shout out to Willie D, man. I 100% agree with this. I feel like a lot of people that have something to say just have been waiting to say something negative. And also, I feel like this whole performance quite possibly just went over a bunch of people's heads. Like, if you don't get it, just say you don't get it. Like, you don't gotta sit there and like get angry and shit because you don't get it and talk shit about it. And I wanted to say this, like, we should be thanking Kendrick. I'm gonna say this. We should be thanking Kendrick because what Kendrick did actually with this is Kendrick went to a Super Bowl. A Super Bowl that is considered one of the biggest stages, right? No matter how you look at it, it's considered one of the biggest stages. Kendrick went to a Super Bowl and put the culture before anything else. Like, I feel like so many artists could go into a situation like this and make it 100% about themselves and their performance and what they're trying to do. Kendrick put the culture first with this one. This is why when you watch it and you come from that, you understand it a little bit better. Now, you may not catch everything right away, but you understand the message, right? And it makes you feel represented. You know, it makes you feel like somebody's out there speaking for you through art. And this is why I feel like Kendrick's music pushes so far, because it's something that you can always go back to and find something new. I mean, with everything that Kendrick did on this stage, with the visuals, you know, everything in between, like, I feel like he put us in the forefront and made this about all of us. Not about the Super Bowl, not about who's winning, not about the game. He made it about all of us. I want to go to this post I saw by Justin Horn. It's basically explaining some of the things that people didn't realize, right? So we all remember seeing this, and this was the symbolization of Kendrick in the middle of the American flag. So you see the stars, you see the stripes, and this was symbolized in several different ways. I mean, I did see this where it split, showing a divide in the country, but Justin Horn right here points out, in America, built on the backs of our descendants. And that's deep. So this is what we talk about when we say that Kendrick's music isn't for everybody, because sometimes you have to listen deeper than you do when you listen to these other artists on a fucking surface level. If you just a surface level listener, your first time, you're gonna be cool. Like, you'll be all right. But when you listen again, if you hear that record the same way, it's not for you. The Samuel Jackson being Uncle Sam. So it says there will be some black people who sell out the black community because they feel their proximity to our oppressor or privilege keeps them safe. So Uncle Sam, kind of like in Django, Uncle Tom, that kind of thing. Now, this was the one that was a little bit like, a lot of people were saying different things about this. The A, a lot of people were saying it's a logo for PG Lang, but everybody else was saying the A was for A minor. I'm not gonna argue with y'all about what's what, but I think the point that people are missing here is this thing could have several different meanings. It means whatever Kendrick thought it meant that night. If we really keeping it real, like, whatever Kendrick thought it meant that night, that's what it means. And whatever you perceive it to be is what you saw. So that's all that matters. So if you saw the A and all you thought was, oh shit, A minor, then bruh, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. So I'm not even gonna argue about that. I know people can argue about that all day long. And we have Serena also, who at the Wimbledon in 2012, Serena famously did the Crip Walk and was policed for how she celebrated, even though she won that Olympic title. So it's only fitting that Serena got on here and got the last laugh. Shout out to Serena. All right, so then you have this, and it says at one point in the show, Uncle Sam says, yes, that's what the people want. Nothing ghetto. After Kendrick performed All of the Stars, is something more mainstream and palatable to America. And there's a reason why some don't get this show, because, dare I say it, you had to think deeply. And that's crazy, man. I was talking about this in my last video, and I said some people had just been so watered down on what they consume when it comes to hip hop or even the culture. There's a way that you come up that gives you an edge, right? Some people don't have that, and that's okay, you know, but I feel like the culture is always in you. And that's just what it is. It goes on to say, when the culture is really whatever the hell black people want, we shouldn't listen to an Uncle Sam telling us how to celebrate, perform, and convey our stories. Yo, that's a bar. That's a bar. When the culture is really whatever the hell black people want, that's important right there. We shouldn't listen to an Uncle Sam telling us how to celebrate, perform, and convey our story. Kendrick really understood the assignment. So you really had to watch this and understand what it meant for you. And this goes back to what I'm saying about applying to people and people who are upset and saying that this wasn't a great performance. The message wasn't for you, but to the culture that we are here. And the culture is whatever we deem it to be. And we shouldn't listen to an Uncle Sam telling us how to celebrate, perform, and convey our stories. So it ain't that hard. It's not like you got to get here and do rocket science. All you had to do is really watch it a few times and think about what your place in America really feels like to you. Very good breakdown of that. Kendrick did us justice by putting the culture in the forefront. Kendrick could have easily gone up there, pyrotechnics, Could have been all types of explosions, all types of things going on. But he chose to send a message. And I think that message was well received by the people it was intended for. I'm what the culture feeling. You know, it's a bar, but it ain't just a bar. And, you know, I look at this in a lot of different ways because I know a lot of people say, you know, well, you know, Drake is half black, you know, this and that. How could you say he's not for the culture? Drake is in a position to do a lot of great things for the culture. If that was Drake's aim, when have you ever seen Drake sacrifice anything for the culture? See, you can't just say you in it just to be in it. You gotta live it. Just like he said, the culture is really whatever the hell black people want it to be. We should not listen to an Uncle Sam telling us how to celebrate, perform, and convey our stories. It's as simple as that. I saw this post from someone who did a full breakdown. So let's watch this. Let's watch this.
This man said, "You would not get the picture if I had to sit you for hours in front of the loop." Meaning some of you are just not going to get this.
That snippet that he played, everybody waiting for that one. Dope.
Government cheese, but now I can seize the government too. And then says the revolution's about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. And behind him, the crowd lights lit up, warning, wrong way. Squabble up, they all stay in their own little sets, and they all squabble up together. They then all march into these lines on the stage, and it pops back to Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam says, "This isn't what America wants. It's too loud, it's too reckless, and it's too ghetto," and he asks if Kendrick even knows how to play the game. He then says, "It's KDOT," the fireworks go off, and he transitions into a brand new song that he debuted on the Super Bowl.
Huh?
I could be wrong about that. Correct me if I am, but I'm pretty sure it was just debuted at the Super Bowl for the first time, and it's called "Man at the Garden."
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the?
All right, listen, I'm gonna give you for effort. I listen, cut us some slack, y'all. Cut us some slack. She did say correct her if she wrong, so we gonna correct her. It's on GNX. But you know, yeah, listen, the effort is there. The effort is there. The effort is there.
And then he transitions into Peekaboo. Back in and says that, "Oh, I see you brought your homeboys, the old culture cheat code." And then he deducts one life away. If you get all your people together, you could lose a life. They asked if he was really going to do it, and he said, 40 acres and a mule, this is bigger than the music.
Message.
Because they wanted to populate the Midwestern part of our country, the prairie. And so they offered 160 acres free and clear to people who would farm the land, ranch the land. I guess it was really only good for farming. But they would give free and clear 160 acres to people. And it was white people who took that land. And that's how a lot of our Midwest cities came into being. They gave 160 acres to people free and clear. And people lining up, and they set off a bell, and you could just go and stake out your plot of land, and it was yours, and you could farm it. And that was the beginning of generational wealth for a lot of white people. A lot of these people came from Germany and Middle European countries, and they got a stake in this country. And here we have enslaved people who were brought over against their will and finally released from bondage and promised for their servitude they would be given 40 acres and a mule, and they got nothing, and they had to start from scratch. Think about how you'd feel if that promise was made to you, and then you were just blown off.
And then they tried to rig the game, but they can't fake influence, and smiled into the camera. And knowing Kendrick, he could be very influential. He then dragged Drake up and down New Orleans Super Bowl field, smiling straight into the camera when he said, "Say, Drake." The crowd screamed A minor while he has a lowercase a on his chain, and the entire dancer spelled out minor. Then he brought out Serena Williams, and she was crip walking on Drake's grave. She's from Compton. She's Drake's ex. And her
on Drake's grave is crazy, yo.
food is diabolical. So if you hear somebody say that the Super Bowl halftime was trash, they just don't get it.
All right, y'all, I'm sorry. Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl was
Oh! I played that for y'all to understand that it's not hard for you to get this. You may not feel what Kendrick did in his halftime show, but you ain't stupid. You heard it. And however you responded to that lets everybody know how you really feel. I'm gonna just leave it there. And I wanted to break that down a little bit because I just want to do my part in hoping that people could see this a little bit deeper and also give Kendrick his flowers for just being a guy going out there and putting the culture first. Because I see a lot of people angry, a lot of people upset, a lot of people talking about who was listening, who was not, who was jamming, whatever. We don't care. We don't care. But at the same time, I want to say that most of the people that are upset about this shit, who got issues with the symbolism, everything in between, all the hidden messages, these are the same motherfuckers that was mad when Colin Kaepernick took a knee. So let's keep that in mind. You don't gotta feel it to hear it. Let's go.
Niggas acting bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it.